Hello, all. One of the common interview questions, as well as one of the common template which a Scrum Master should always know, is how does a sprint report looks like? Okay. It differs from organization to organization and even from project to project. But there are some basic information that should be present in a sprint report. Okay. So this I'm just telling from a Scrum point of view. So that also I want to mention in prior. Okay. First question will come whether sprint report should be in the form of a PPT or it should be a separate document or how it should maintained. See, normally in my personal experience, I have used sprint report in form of PPT as well as he used to follow standard practice of storing it in Confluence. So either one can work. Some stakeholders will be expecting your print report to be in a PPT format. And few may be good with even a Confluence page. So if you're using Confluence, you can go with Confluence that can save much of your time. And as Ajay suggests, with less documentation, so you can even go with a simple Confluence page, I would prefer. And here, but the request from stakeholders few expect in the form of a PPT. So that's why I'm just showing the PPT here to make sure you people are able to visualize and see things, how it goes. So this is the, I'm not suggesting you to follow the same way, just you can take the content from this video and that can help you. Okay. So I have just assumed that it is Q1 S1 2023 sales team sprint report. So the name of my team is sales team, and I'm currently in quarter number 1, sprint number 1. So that is the sprint. So this is the way, and even the year I'm mentioning because there can be, because if you're working in a long term, like it may create a confusion after a particular point if you want to go back and check some previous sprint reports. So that's why it's always a good practice to have the year mentioned along with the sprint number. So just a standard logo here, and then I'm just moving. So normally the sprint report may also be generated from Jira. You people might be knowing. If you're not aware, then like you can even look at some of my videos regarding the Jira, and you'll be able to understand. From Jira also, we will be able to get a sprint report, but that will be in a different format. Okay. So basically, what the stakeholders expect is they want to see how we are progressing towards the product goal. So for that, always it's better to have the epic burn down chart included. So consider you have 5 epics included in a single quarter, and your team is working on maybe 3 epics in particular sprint. Then how we are progressing for each epic, that you can easily identify from epic burn down chart, which can be taken from Jira. Okay, so from Jira tool, can take the epic burn down chart that you can add. And that is an optional I will be telling you. When it comes to the core of the sprint report, this is the way it should be. It should always have the sprint start date, end date, and the sprint goal, which you can very well get from Jira. And the sprint goal also you'll be having in Jira. Under the backlog section, you'll be able to see under the sprint name, the sprint goal, whatever you have defined in your sprint. And then the story points committed is the story points delivered. That means at start of the sprint, how much story points you all committed. And what are the story points you delivered at the end. So consider your team has committed for 50 story points and they have completed 40, then the completion percentage is 80. And the calculated capacity at the beginning of the sprint. So normally we used to do this capacity planning, right, during our sprint planning. So at that time, what is the capacity you planned? and the actual capacity. For example, the reason why I'm differentiating these two is if this will help you to understand and even be very transparent with the stakeholders on how you planned your capacity and how your sprint went. Okay, I'm giving you a situation here. You have planned for the Swift, the team has given a commitment for 50 story points based upon the available capacity. Okay, just assume. In the beginning of the sprint, the team was having only 80% capacity. With that, they are fine with 50 story points. Now, at the end of the sprint, consider some team members went on some unplanned leaves or some sick leave. Then in that case, the capacity of the team got reduced indirectly, right? So always it is recommended to have a track on that so that you will be able to tell that at the beginning of the sprint, we had a good capacity of 80% from the team, but due to some unplanned leaves, we were having a very less capacity of around 65%. So due to this reduction in the overall capacity of the team, we were not able to meet the commitments. That means the whatever the story points you have completed, few stories may got spillover. So that can enable transparency and also help you to communicate to the stakeholders very effectively. That's the reason why I have included in this way. And then you can have the stories completed and not completed list that you can take from Jira. So in Jira report section, you will be having the sprint report I told, right? In that, you will be getting two sections. First is the stories completed and not completed list. And also, if you are removing any stories also from the sprint, that can also be clearly taken from Jira sprint report. That can even be added. Even the scope change that they even like the scope, if there's any scope change, that can also be mentioned additionally. Okay. And this part is very important. So after this, you should come to the impediments and the challenges. So impediments, if your team has faced any major impediment, then you can even highlight it to the stakeholders in the report. And challenges, for example, if there is any environment issue or any challenges, for example, this unplanned leave, I told, right? It's a sick leave. So this can be one of the challenges. If you want, you can even add it in the report. And the customer feedback from the review. This section, you will be having a sprint review, right? At the end, the customer would have given some feedback, maybe some enhancement feedback or anything. So that you can add here. And your team might have taken some retro improvement action items for the next sprint. If you want, you can even add that and let the stakeholders that this is the improvement action item your team is working on, but this is an optional one. Just a suggestion. Apart from that, sprint burn down chart you can include from Jira to understand how the team progressed or burned down the stories. And even the velocity chart, you can take it from Jira. So this velocity chart will be helping you to understand how fast the team is delivering value. So that also you can take from the report section. So all these, whatever I'm telling, sprint report, sprint burn down chart, velocity chart, everything you can take from Jira report section. Can even add that. And even release burn down chart. Yes. This also we can include, for example, you have a planned release. Consider you have a planned release in the next sprint. Then you can even have the release burn down chart added from Jira so that they will be able to understand how good the team is progressing in terms of release. And also the release plan and the dates. So when you're having release and what are the deliverables you're planning for release, that even you can ask, get help from product owner to update that, and you can share it to the stakeholders in the same report. So I feel these are the basic information which your sprint report should be having. And but as I mentioned, it's mostly like customer satisfaction, right? Our focus should be. So even if the customer is feeling like these things are not going to look, and few things, if they're asking to add in your sprint report, you can do that customization as needed. But just on the whole, I just felt like this can be a standard template which you can use and which can help you in the starting stage as a Scrum Master. So, yeah, thank you all, folks.